So, my guilty pleasure, Nico, you guessed correct, is All Saints.
I knew it was
All Saints, Pure Shores.
I knew it was Pure Shores. I knew it couldn't be Nickelback.
Frickleback.
Oh.
Selector.
Welcome back to Mangoseed Selectors. Today in the selector seat, it's me. So we're back in the band room, and like the other three times we've done, it's three things. So, song that you wish that you wrote, your favorite album, and then at the end I'll do three of my guilty pleasures, and two of them are lies, and there's one truth, and you guys have to guess which one is my actual guilty pleasure, which is going to be very.
Okay. So Nico, what is the song that you wish you wrote?
So the song I picked was like Sam said, this was a hard thing to do, because I mean, as a songwriter, there's so many incredible songs out there. The one that I picked was Rufus Wainwright's Poses. I was actually gonna pick a different song, but I picked this one. And just because I just like the melody is incredible in the song. And he sings it in this, almost like he says this line in the song where he says he's drunk, he lost his flip-flop and he's drunk on Fifth Avenue. And he sings the song like he is without a flip-flop and drunk on Fifth Avenue. And it's just kind of like, it feels like, the song feels like a lost weekend. And that's why I really, really like it. It feels like you went out with your mates on a Friday night and you didn't end up home until Monday afternoon. And you can't really remember what happened, but it feels really good.
Yeah. No, I get this feeling of when he's singing his voice, he's not making any excuses.
Yeah.
For like the tone, what he's singing about. Like there's no, like you say, you come home after 3 days, but you've had an amazing time.
Yeah.
You're just like, I don't regret any of that. Like, no regrets.
I've done it all. I've
Yeah.
done all this weekend, and I have no regrets, and I feel good about it. And now I'm gonna sleep for the next 4 days. And in terms of like the songwriting and the lyrics, it's really simple. Like he's talking about everyday things, you know. It's nothing massively poetic or complex or anything like that. And I just love the simplicity of it. Like I'm now always trying to achieve that level of simplicity in writing songs and trying to get there instead of trying to overcomplicate things, which is harder than it seems. Yeah, I love that song, man.
I mean, I'm playing it right now while you guys are talking. It's quite nice, you know what I mean? And Norah Jones could sing this.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's that kind of tone, you know, and it's flowers in a room music.
Yeah.
And, you know, flowers in a room, window open, breeze coming through, you can smell it, it's like.
But it also feels like, it feels like what I imagine like a New York summer evening to be. Like that's, and I don't know if you wrote it in New York or whatever, but maybe it's the Fifth Avenue thing, but it feels like, you know, it feels like you're right there with him and you're just chilling and you're having the remains of the day, kind of. And it's also very melancholy too. It's melancholy without being sad and pitiful, you know what I mean? Without pitying itself, which is really hard to do. It has this kind of cathartic feeling to it.
It's like sad and joyous, but
at the same time,
the songwriting aside, just the record itself, like you put it on, and it's like he's in the room. He's like over there singing you that song.
Yeah.
I think there's something so special about capturing a record like that.
It's the kind of thing when you got the girl that you really like a lot around your house, and you say nothing and just play it. You know what I mean?
What as like an example of this is how I feel. I'm gonna just do this and not say anything and see what happens next.
Yeah. But you know she's gonna be like, "That's so beautiful." You know, you'd be like, "Got some strawberries?" She'd be like, "Yeah."
or it could go the other way. Exactly. Like, why are you playing this song? This is weird. I'm leaving right now.
Yeah.
Good song.
Nico, what's your favorite album?
So my favorite album, and again, very, very hard to do. Because there's about 5 of them in about 5 different genres. Is I picked Lauryn Hill's The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And it was released at a time when I was in my late teens, and it was just about the time I moved from Trinidad to the UK, and I saw her play live up in Camden, and the album is doing so many different things that I didn't think could all be in the same album at the same time. So it's neo soul, R&B, jazz, hip hop, and reggae, like all impeccably done, all in the same album. All in one song sometimes. You hear one song, it's like all of these things going in the same song. And it was just hit after hit. Like, you just couldn't move for Lauryn Hill between 1998 and 2002. And she was from the Fugees, and she could rap and she could sing, and the lyrical content was just there, and it was also really introspective, and she was really brave in talking about, like, opening up her life. Like on that song Zion, she was talking about people telling her to abort the child, and she was like saying no, it ruined her record career. So it was this really honest piece of music, really honest album that was also very, very commercially successful. And that was the 2 things that blew my mind. And then the production on it is just crazy.
Who's behind the production of that?
So it's mainly her and these guys called the something arc. I forget what it is, but like the album. Take a wild guess of where they recorded that album.
Jamaica.
Yep. In Bob Marley's studio in Jamaica, 56 Hope Road in Jamaica. And I didn't know that, right? Because I thought it was in New York, because a lot of the songwriting happened in New York, and pre-production happened in New Jersey, where she was. And then she went to Hope Road and recorded in Tough Gong Studio. And all of the guys that play on it are like session musicians, Jamaican session musicians. And then they took all of those like live recordings, and then they added some other production, like added more hip hop production and stuff just before they finished the album.
I think That Thing is the first like hip hop track I heard.
Yeah.
And definitely Lauryn Hill in the Fugees was my first experience of a hip hop band. I think. I'm trying to remember if I'd heard anything before that, and I don't think I had.
There was, I mean, when I listened to the album, I was like, okay, I remember this when it came out. I remember people just loving it. And I was the kind of person that, I'm an anti-hype guy. So there was so much hype, I just like avoided it. Then I listened to it and I was like, really? Hit after hit after hit, hit after hit. I was, did any of these not chart? And then you look back and you see Sister Act and you're like, that's the same Lauryn Hill from Sister Act?
Right?
You know, it's like, okay. Now you can see, you know, she had the talent, you know, and from Fugees to that, you can see, you know, I don't know who her mentor was, but, you know, she did a lot of soul searching and she did a lot of good songwriting, man. And that album is just ridiculous as far as it's concerned.
But you know, the whole, it's her, right? It's mainly her and these guys from, I'm trying to find the name of the thing. They had a name when they were writing with her. But the record label wanted to give her a big producer to produce the album. And she fought tooth and nail to say, I don't want anybody's voice in my head. I don't want anybody working with me on this. I want to go to Jamaica and write this for myself. Just me alone doing this. And she basically went and did it. And everybody was like, a couple of people in the record label protected her, and then everybody else was like, no, she can't do this on her own. She's too young, and that, I guess, spurred her on to write. Like she had no filter then. Like, if you think I can't do this, I'm gonna do it. Trying to find the name of the guys that wrote it with her.
I think the title track, like the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, is the most aggressive use of vinyl hiss I've ever heard.
Right?
The crackle, like, it is used so often now just for the aesthetic. There, I think it must have just come from, like, honestly, just bad signal or something, and they were like, shit, we're just gonna have to live with it. It's just so blatant and in your face, you know.
And I love the way that they use the kids to just explore stuff like love, and in particular black love. You know, what is love in a black society where you live in a black neighborhood? What is it? And so, when it gets me this way, it gets me that, and letting them question themselves about what is to be expected of a woman, what is expected to be of a man, you know, and that was very interesting. You know what I mean? That they allowed that to be put on there, and if young people listen to it, then they used to start questioning. You know what I mean? Is it right for the man to treat me that way? You know, is that all I have to do to love her? Oh, do I love him aesthetically or blah, blah, blah? Good concept.
Yeah, so, and it also comes out of a concept of a book called Education of the Negro. It was a book in the 60s and 70s in America, where it's sort of charting like how black people were treated and they weren't given the same kind of educational opportunities as whites in America. So there's all of that politics layered into it. But it's like politics, and then she hits you with this love song with D'Angelo. This love song like That Thing or X Factor, and it's just like all of these things flowing around inside of there with real precision. And she's aiming and hitting them so hard. It's not ambiguous what she's talking about, and it's so specific and raw. Like, if she's doing a political thing, it's like, if she's talking about the music, like when she talks about the music industry and Lost Ones, it's like you just go, oh, so this is what happened with you and the Fugees, and this is what everybody's trying to tell you. And, like, you know what I mean? So it was so specific and so well crafted and so well done. So that album for me is just. And listening back to it, you just realize how much production went to it, and also how not perfect it is too. Because, like, sometimes you listen to the vocals and you're like, I would never put those harmonies where you put those harmonies, or never put that background vocal like so loud in the mix that it's just taking over everything else, or like not perfectly balanced, but there's a vibe and there's an energy to it, you know.
And then there's this thing, not putting down hip hop, right? But this album is like crafted hip hop, if that makes any sense. Not to put down hip hop and the rawness of it, but it's like when you smooth it out, man, it's like that's what it could be. You know what I mean? That's what it could, because she's just as aggressive with the way she delivers and with what she's saying as well. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's it. Yeah. Crafted.
And just as a lyricist too, in terms of her ability to rap, like there is no other female rapper, and I think she is up there with some of the best male rappers on the planet.
Rapping with her own flow, you know what I mean? She's got her own flow. It isn't like somebody else. It's not mimicking, you know.
And also she's moving from like Jamaican chanting into hip hop, back again, into singing, back again. It's like, what are you doing? And then the other thing too is like, so that's her only studio album, right? And her only ever studio album. Next album she made was a live MTV thing that they put out, which was wavy at best, right? And Questlove from The Roots has been working with her on her second album. Now, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill came out in 1990, right? 20 years ago. And Questlove says he's been working on this album with her for about 10 years. And he says, if it ever comes out, like he says, if it ever comes out, it will shut, just like how Miss shut everything down.
Yeah.
If this album ever comes out, it will shut everything down again. And it's crazy things like she was in California, and I think she was renting, and this might be apocryphal, but she was renting the the entire top floor of a hotel, and had all the musicians staying there, and built a studio in it, and was recording in this room for months, and yeah, she is just a unique artist, man. Like, and you were saying, Carl, the other day, like, how did she do that and have all those hits and then nothing else after it? Like, I think she just peaked and couldn't get back there. Or, you know, it's like have one great album in them and can never do that again.
Just got sucked back into the machine, man.
Yeah.
Back into.
Part of me hopes so. She just felt like, you know what, I proved my point. Enough said, like, done.
Yeah.
Like, I done it. Don't have to do it again.
I don't have to do it again. It's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nico.
Yes.
Guilty pleasures.
All right. So the three guilty pleasures are Cher's Do You Believe in Life After Love? Or Believe, I think is the name of the song. Blackstreet's No Diggity, and Justin Bieber's what's the name of the song? Justin Bieber's
I'll tell you.
Love Yourself by Justin Bieber.
All right, send them to us, man.
All right, so with Justin Bieber, again, like, it was produced by Diplo. I really like it because it's a really simple thing. And then all of a sudden, Justin Bieber stops singing and horns play for the last minute and a half of this song, which I think is just really cool. But like, and the song is actually really good too. Like the hook is really good. It's a really nice pop song. But I just love the fact that, you know, no more Justin Bieber and just horns play for 5 minutes and a half. It's like, what? Okay. So I love this song, and I love the simplicity of it. No Diggity, I like just because the beat is off the chain, and it's Dr. Dre rapping and Blackstreet, and I defy you to not bob your head to that song when it starts playing. Like, it's one of those tracks that is just off the scale. And Cher is big and wonderful, and I bought the single, which is crazy, and I love the auto-tune. You're talking about how aggressive use of hits. This is the most aggressive use of auto-tune, to the point where I don't know what her voice actually sounds like.
That got lost minutes ago.
Like, I don't like, and how this song became. You remember when? You remember when the song came out?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was probably out before I paid any attention to it, or realized it was out.
I remember when the song came out, and there was one song in the world. There was no other music in the world except that song for months. Anywhere, any store you went into, any car you was hearing passing by, like, it was the only song on the planet for months and months and months and months. And I think the novelty was like, everybody's going, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so those are my three.
The thing about the Cher song, right, is the fact that she was old school, and she was showing how to move or how to be ahead of the game as far as pop music is concerned, right? So she was making these pop songs that was cutting edge pop songs, which was dance, trance type things. So in the clubs, it was tearing it up. So she was smart. You know, it wasn't everyone knows Cher. And it was very danceable, and that's what she did. And the auto-tune, she thought, yeah, I'll own it. And after that, everybody else started doing that stuff.
Yeah. She was before who's that auto-tune guy? The rapper auto-tune guy.
What name the Canadian dude?
No, not Drake. Anyway, I can't remember his name. Who like every song is auto-tune. Anyway, she was before that. Everybody takes the auto-tune from her. Right. So those are my three.
Easy.
I think I know.
It's easy.
But,
Absolutely.
all right, I will reveal it in the next episode.
But we're gonna guess.
Yeah, we're gonna guess. And I'm basing my decision. I'll let you. Actually, no, you go first. Go.
All right. Just because of the sheer joy of a song and knowing you, Nicholai, you're the kind of person that something happens in your life and that song becomes the soundtrack for it or the memory for it. It's got to be Cher. It's got to be Cher.
I definitely think it's Cher. I definitely agree. And just the way your eyes lit up, just like looking out the window thinking about Cher, you were just like, wow.
It's when something unlocked for you, something musically
Yeah.
unlocked for you.
Whereas the other two, you kind of just like passed over. You're like, they're there.
I will reveal what it is in the next episode.
Selector.
All right. Right. So in the last episode, I talked about my 3 choices for my guilty pleasure. And they were Justin Bieber, Love Yourself, Blackstreet, No Diggity, and Cher's Believe. And what were your guesses again?
Cher.
We both guessed Cher,
And you were both right, obviously.
obviously.
Bieber was close. So to admit that you own a Justin Bieber song is the guilty pleasure, right? But that was so tight. So tight for me. So tight.
Yeah, it was Cher. And I'll tell you something else too. Not only did I buy the single, I went back to Tower Records and bought all of the remixes of the song I could find. I had 9 CDs, and they were all remixes of that song.
You are the king of guilty pleasures.
That's unbelievable.
Honestly, mate, I was thinking, it came on the other day, and I was like, I used to love this song. And Casey was like, what? What do you mean? And she just kind of watched me like, what do you mean? I literally had.
You take them out and show her.
I don't know where they are because nobody has CDs anymore, so I don't even know where they are. But I bought the single, went home, listened to it, and it had 2 remixes on the single, like a more dancey remix than that, and then like a kind of jungly remix, and I was like, oh my god, how are they doing this? And I went back to Tower Records and bought every single remix I could find. One of them was just the vocal with like a piano. It was insane. All right.
Love it. Absolutely love it.